Hey everybody, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday, where I give you the answers to questions that you have about your health and fitness goals. Now, yes, I know my light's just still giving me some issues. It's time for a new ring light. New studio. We need lots of things, but it's all good. Hey, so, really the beginning of the year is when we talk about New Year's resolutions, and one of the things that I find the most frustrating are that people really don't know the difference between diet and lifestyle, because it's huge. It's a totally different situation. Most people are looking at their goals as something that's temporary. They want to get on a diet, and they want to reach their goals extremely fast, a lot of times unrealistically fast. And part of the issue with that is that there's a big difference between working on a diet, and we'll talk about what that is and what that means here in a minute, versus a lifestyle. So let's define the difference between diet and lifestyle, right? So the biggest issue well, here, let me just ask you a question, and that should really kind of answer the things that you're thinking about here. So my question to you is, when you reach your goal, how long do you want to keep it? Right? That really kind of ties it all together, right? Are you trying to get there just briefly because you're going on a trip and then you're going to go back to wherever you are now? Or are you going to reach your goal and you really want to stay there? Because I don't know anyone who says, I would like to lose 20 pounds and then I want to gain it right back. Nobody says that. But that really is the biggest difference between when you're focused on a very short-term goal that you're going to do a diet, or whether you're trying to create a healthy lifestyle, a healthier body, and not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Put yourself in a healthier place. That's really what it takes to live the lifestyle. So let's talk about diet. Now, sometimes there are times where diet is appropriate. Again, maybe you're going to go on a trip and you just want to, you want to look good in your bathing suit, or there's a wedding you're going to participate in and you need the dress isn't fitting quite right, or guys, your cummerbund's not fitting right, whatever. That you do need to just focus really briefly on something short term, and you need to get there. You need to do it very specifically. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that most people, though, think that that's how every goal is going to go, is they're going to do something very drastic, very quick, and they're going to reach their goal, and then they're going to go back to their old habits, but they're going to be able to keep the results that they got, and that is not how this works. So diet is, again, you just have to think it's short term. The results are going to be temporary. You have to keep that in mind when you set that goal and when you work for that. You also want to make sure, of course, it's going to be a goal with a deadline, right? You're going to have something. That light is driving me crazy. Mess with it. Yep, it's time to do some shopping, I think. But okay, there we go. Let's see if it's just flickering at me, which is taking my attention. So I know it's not quite as bright now, but we'll get that fixed. But you have to focus on something where it's going to have a specific deadline, because that way too you can break it down into weeks and figure out effort-wise what you need to do in order to reach that goal in that amount of time. But again, you don't plan to stay there. You know that it's going to be temporary and that you're going to go backwards a little bit. So anyone who's ever competed in a bodybuilding show on stage knows that when they get on stage, it's brief, right? You're trying to get on stage momentarily. You're going to peak right there, look the best you've ever looked, and then get off stage. And it's not realistic to be able to stay there. It's not sustainable, right? So that is an appropriate place to actually have a diet. The problem is most people look at every goal like that, right? And so we want to lose, some people want to lose 50, 100 pounds because they are so far off track for health, but they want to do it super fast, and your body doesn't respond like that. There's too many things that have to happen in order for your body to actually be okay with the fact that you're trying to lose weight or burn fat. Your body does not like to lose anything. It wants to keep things because that's the goal. It wants to survive, right? And so by holding on to those things, body fat is a survival tool. It's a survival mechanism that your body has, and you don't always have a lot of control over that if you are, there's specific things that happen, but keep in mind that's part of it. So the other problem with diets, right? Because most people, what they do is they think, I want to go on a diet, and so they immediately go into, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories and I'm going to exercise all these crazy days, but they don't take into account that, if they've got 50 pounds, to lose 1,200 calories is not enough to take your body out of starvation mode. So I always teach people, the smaller the car, the smaller the gas tank. So if you start out with 1,200 calories and you drop 20 pounds, you have nowhere to go. 1,200 calories is the minimum amount of calories that an adult human should be eating to not have significant symptoms from starvation. And even then, it's not even enough for most people, period. I eat anywhere from 2,000 to 2,400 calories, depending on what's going on in my life, just even to maintain. So again, I have a lot more muscle than the average person, but I do eat more than the average woman. It's just all clean. So the problem with dieting, especially if you tend to do it a lot, is that yo-yo dieting issue, where your metabolism just drops because it's trying to survive. It's trying to keep you from starving. So it really isn't going to get you where you want to go. You have to work with someone that knows what they're doing in order to walk you down in that process. And really for a lot of people, it's just about cleaning up your nutrition plan and eating whole healthy foods versus processed garbage, with things that I call food-like substances. So lifestyle is a little bit different because, of course, whatever you do to reach your goal, you're going to have to keep doing to stay at your goal. So if you've lost the 100 pounds, that's great, but you can't go back to what you were doing in the beginning. You do become a different person. So the biggest issue is when you're trying to live the lifestyle, there's a lot of habit changes that have to happen. Things like, I had to change my relationship with food. I tend to eat garbage food when I'm stressed, which has happened a lot this last year, or when I'm bored. And so trying to have new coping mechanisms, those are things that are going to take time, right? Not to mention, if you drop a lot of weight very, very fast, you're going to have a lot of excess skin that's going to be involved, and it takes your body time to catch up with that and to kind of shrink that back. And the older we get, the harder that is. So keep in mind that fast is rarely a good option because your body's going to fight you, and there's too many things that you have to change. And if you've been paying attention to my tips for New Year's, one of the tips I had is don't try to change everything at once, because as soon as you get overwhelmed, you're not going to be able to keep up with that. And most of us are going to have some life issues come at us. We got to be able to get through that. The month of August in 2021, I lost both my parents. And what got me through that situation was that I already lived the lifestyle. So although I didn't eat as much as I should have, and I didn't eat perfectly, I mean, I lived a lot on protein shakes and Greek yogurt because it was easy. I knew I needed to eat, and it was something that I could handle at the time. So the big things with living a lifestyle is learning to do this day in, day out. That doesn't mean that I don't go out once in a while and have a great meal or a donut or something fun. But my goal is to get there and stay there, and not go back to where I came from. It really is about habit changes over time, but it does have to be realistic. Now, my big tip to you is, for me at this point, when I do diet for something specific, it's not that much different than my lifestyle. A lot of the foods are very, very similar. It's just the amounts that I have that are a little bit different, right? My macros change a little bit so that I can burn a little bit more body fat. And again, I'm not doing anything crazy. I don't compete anymore. But, I do a photo shoot here and there, and I like to travel. I love to travel at this point. So I might want to lean out just a little bit for something. I can do that. The crazy thing is again, my food doesn't change that much in what it is. I eat very, very clean either way. But the amounts change and the macros change just a little bit, right? So it's all doable. The biggest thing that I try to teach, I know people want to see change. They want to see it very, very fast. They want to see that transformation. But in order to stay there once you get there, you really do have to become a different person, which requires that you do change some habits. You might even have to change a friend situation. If you tend to hang around a lot of people that are doing things that won't benefit you towards your goal, you might have to change that. And that doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. It just means that, I don't hang out with friends that like to drink a lot. That's just some of the things that have changed. So anyhow, hopefully that helps you with your knowledge of what your choice might be this time of year. I want you to reach your New Year's goal. I just want you to reach it and stay there. That's important because I believe that you should be happy and healthy. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing this on Facebook, hop on there. It's under Fillmore Fitness. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you see all the new ones. And most Wednesdays, we will tackle a new topic. And if you have a question that you would like me to talk about, please leave a comment below, or you can message me directly through Facebook Messenger. I always respond, actually. So have an incredible night, you guys. Stay happy and healthy, my friends.